Hi, this is Cable X. Today's date the 24th of July 2023, and this is called Theosophy, Sources of David Icke and Others in the Truth Movement. Because obviously I'm not doing much decoding, but I will do that as well. But I just want to make this channel not just a gematria channel, a channel that really talks about stuff that's really relevant. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I feel like it has to be addressed, because there is a reason why people are not fully waking up, because these people are limiting the, as you know, I did three, now I'm doing one on David Icke. I mean, funny thing is, I actually follow his Twitter account because he does put out some useful information, but you gotta exercise discernment skepticism, you could say, on these people. So I'm gonna get to what I was gonna get to, which is the article itself I'm discussing here. What I'm gonna do, because I should have done this in previous streams I did, is post this link in the chat, so you guys can check it out yourself. This is from David Livingston, a real researcher, a guy who goes deeper than a lot of people do. Okay, let me just go there. Okay, let me just go there. I'm trying to share this link. It's not letting me do it. What is going on? I'll try again. I'm trying to share this. Come on, man. Let me share the flipping link, man. There you go. Yeah, that's the link I've shared. You can check that out. So let's start with I'll have to respell that. I put Theosophy sources, theosophical sources of David Icke's reptilian theory. Well, because as you know, that reptilian theory has been around for a long time now. It goes back to '98 when he wrote The Biggest Secret. This book here, this is the book that popularized the theory. The Biggest Secret. This is arguably one of his most popular books. I mean, I've read his books, so it's not like I'm not aware of his material. I mean, there's the image. There's the book right there. I mean, to be fair to him, it's a good book. It is. It's got good information. Yeah, there's the book, The Biggest Secret, the book that changed the world, David Icke. That's where his reptilian theory became popularized. So there's one people. I'm not sure. Is it one person watching or what? I don't know. I just thought it said one person watching. Just wanted to check. Okay, never mind. I'll just carry on. Feel free to message if you're there or not. Okay, let me go back here. I'm going to read some parts of this. Most recently popularized by David Icke, the notions of the connection of a world crowd conspiracy orchestrated by reptilian beings, like the UFO mythos itself, has its origins in Theosophy, the occult tradition founded by Helena P. Blavatsky. Now, as you know, I mentioned her. She's a Russian occultist. She talked about having entities visit her, but there's also there's been lots of disputes that she had these kind of experiences where it seemed like it was based on fiction. She is like the godmother of the New Age movement, it says here, and preeminently personality of the occult revival of the 19th century. Because this is how far back it goes. This whole ideology which is infused in the truth community. Not everyone, because there's like, you know, different branches of the community. Because what I'm getting at is that these people, despite putting out truth, they are pushing ideas. Maybe not forcefully, because they're not doing it forcefully, they're doing it through deception. That yes, there's a lot of political corruption, but also all those religions are Saturnian religion. And then, as Jordan Maxwell, Maxwell, he mentioned about entities talking to him now, David Icke saying the same thing. I mean, are they talking to jinns, demons, fallen angels? I mean, this is what it shows here. This is what sums it up. Essentially, David Icke, like other conspiracy researchers such as Jordan Maxwell, Tessarian, and RKIS, is an critic of the Illuminati, but presents myriad speculations of Theosophy as the truth being suppressed, which is what they are doing. All his main teachings are theosophical and therefore identical to those of the Illuminati, which is supposedly denouncing. Well, that's what needs to be understood. Because why would you still, even now, follow these people? Why would you not even? I mean, maybe following them is not too bad necessarily. It's not bad to follow him on Twitter, which is what I do. But you gotta be like, okay, because maybe it's best that you do, just to see what they're saying and what they're not saying. Get a taste of what they're saying and what they're not saying. Is why are they pushing ideas from someone that's been dead for like 100 years? Helena Blavatsky. Her ideas of Theosophy. And there's a documentary. I won't play it, but time to. As revealed in an excellent documentary by Chris Wright called David Icke Debunked, he claims to be imparted with insights from a spiritual entity called Okorsky, who identifies the name Saint Germain, a notorious charlatan who was a key occult figure in the 18th century and regarded as a spiritual master of Freemasonry. So why would he? Yeah, he actually said this. Why would he say this entity he interacted with is a guy that's a charlatan? See, that's where this really starts to get rather disturbing, to say the least. And that's good. People are watching. Okorsky is, they say he's actually a real person here, not just a random name, is none other than the Master Okorsky of Alice Bailey, Blavatsky's leading representative in the 20th century, whose channel information not only shaped much of the New Age, but guided many of the programs of the United Nations, which is seen to be the seat of world government awaiting with the coming age of Aquarius. To Bailey, Okorsky is one of the ascended masters of Theosophy, the Lord of Civilization, whose task is the establishment of the new civilization of the age of Aquarius. David Icke calls Okorsky the Lord of all creation. What? I've not read this article in a while, but I'm getting like, what? Lord of all creation. I thought God was the creator of all creation. He's saying this entity is? What the hell? He's saying that he's directly responsible for all the changes the earth will undergo. He says the concept of making contact with ET begins with the occult revival. So you have to wonder, when you hear Stephen Greer, do you guys, let me just check the chat real quick. If you know who Stephen Greer is, he's the guy that's been talking about you talking about ETs and UFOs, yeah. People seem to take him seriously. Yeah, this guy here. I mean, he came to me in contact with UFO sightings, but it's most likely these UFO sightings are nothing more than government propaganda, CIA propaganda, saying there's out of space, but in reality they're just man-made aircraft that they're testing, which is what it really is. And ETs, saying he's been in contact with ETs, but I mean, it's all word of mouth. That's what it from him. He doesn't really provide any evidence for what he's saying. So for all we know, the UFO movement might all go back. Well, the UFO movement has origins with the occult revival, as discussed in here. The concept of making contact with the ET begins with the occult revival, as I said here. Also got carry on now. It became popular to conduct seances to make contact with lost relatives or long-gone famous personalities. Blavatsky contributed to this trend by claiming to be in contact with beings she called ascended masters, who resided in the mystical city of Shambhala of Buddhist legend, led by Sanat Kumara as king of the world, which she identified with Lucifer and the fallen angels. I mean, isn't it obvious that she's a Satanist? Far from being just an occultist, she's a Satanist as well. And Jordan Maxwell says, "Oh, I've read all her books. She's an incredible researcher." That's what he said. Not exact words. Alice Bailey believes that Sanat Kumar came to Earth 18.5 million years ago from the etheric plane on the planet Venus, accompanied by 30 lords of the flame. The spiritual challenge of the occult revival became UFO contact of the 20th century. So it's clear that UFO movement is tied to this whole, to the occult movement of the 18th, 19th centuries. Again, you can't separate the UFO movement of today to the 19th century or 18th century of these occult revival movements. You just can't separate them. It's obviously they're tied together. Christopher Partridge wrote that the works of Bailey and Theosophy in general all influence the so-called UFO religions. UFO religions are groups which deal with alleged communication between humans and ETs, and include the Theosophy Society, the Church of the Subgenius, Heaven's Gate, Industrial Church of the New World Comforter, Realism, and even the Nation of Islam. Yeah, they've mentioned about a mothership of sorts, the Nation of Islam, particularly Louis Farrakhan, the current leader. Partridge writes that the first UFO religion was the I Am activity, founded by Guy Ballard in 1930. Almost all communication from his ascended masters, though, came telepathically or by appearing to him from the etheric plane. During his first encounter, he met the ascended master, Saint Germain, in a cave underneath Mount Shasta, who showed him a television set that received transmissions from planet Venus. An I Am offshoot was the Church of Universal and Triumphant, established in 1958 in Montana, led by Mark Prophet and later by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. I mean, if you know, if you YouTuber Anthony Sutton, she is interviewing Sutton about the rise of Hitler and the Bolshevik Revolution. Now, I didn't realise that this person here, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, is in fact a crazy Christian, which is strange, isn't it? Whereas Saint Germain was also a central figure. The movement gained immediate attention in the 1980s and early 90s while preparing for a potential nuclear disaster, which didn't happen, by the way. Mount Shasta is a volcanic peak in Northern California, which has long been rumored to be inhabited by fairies and Sasquatch figures, known for frequent UFO sightings, and which contributed to the legend of the reptilians. It was first brought attention in a novel, A Duel of the Two Planets, in which Frederick Oliver related information he received telepathically from Philos the Tibetan. Oliver's account, which discussed a hidden citadel of Atlantean masters within the mountain, became popular with occult and theosophical communities in America. I mean, just want to stop a bit. I mean, there's so much. There's a lot of conspiracies that are talked about, and they need to be talked about, whether it's chemtrails, geoengineering, weather warfare, wildfires, geopolitics, secret societies, gematria as well. Stuff that needs to be talked about, right? To expose what's really going on in the world. But I think sometimes you got to question the sources we get information from. You have to. I mean, one thing that we shouldn't do is totally dismiss them altogether and say, they're full of shit. Not necessarily, but there are some things that are full of shit on, like when they talk about reptilians, shape-shifting reptilians, when they talk about UFOs, all this other stuff. I mean, I've not seen many people, and there are some that have in YouTube online that I've talked about the Theosophy connection to these prominent researchers like David Icke and Jordan Maxwell. If you hear the beep, I was just beeping as just a colleague outside. I'm in the car park. Just getting work for soon. So, because you got to question what ideas they're pushing. Same thing with the so-called right-wing conspiracy researchers as well. They'll, like Alex Jones and these types, they will tell you a lot of good information. Then you look at what their solutions are, what they're pushing. Basically, they want to push an idea that is central to this economic system, which is deregulation. Because I suspect that what people call Reaganomics is really fascism, where there's no regulation of the banks, big business, corporations, and workers' rights. They don't like workers' rights. They want a deregulated economic system. That's what these right-wing conspiracy researchers really want to push. Which means corporations run this country, right? Instead of having an economic system that treats workers better, that offers fairness. I mean, maybe I sound like I'm a lefty, but it's not that. It's just about a sound economic system, and they don't. So you have a situation where they are pushing these new age ideas, and on the one hand, then you got fascist economic system on the other hand, because they say if you push a certain idea that's beneficial, they'll call it communist, when it's not that at all. See, that's how they deceive you. They tell you it's communist when it's not. Yeah, strange how it says 2 people watching it, it's not 1 people watching. I'm gonna skip through this bit because I don't think I'm gonna do any another part of this. Just want to get out what I'm saying here. A similar account was brought forward by Maurice Doreal, also known as Claude Doggins, or Dr. Doreal as he preferred to be called, in Denver about 1930. Denver. There's the stories about Denver Airport where there's an underground tunnel or something. God knows what goes on there. There are lots of accounts and stories about it. I can't dismiss it for sure. Founded the Brotherhood of the White Temple, the first major occult movement to refer to Shambhala, which Doreal was an underground city. Doreal claimed that he was lecturing in Los Angeles 1931. The year after Bala's experience, he met two Atlanteans who transported him to a giant cavern 12 miles beneath Shasta. Fearful of a nuclear attack, he relocated the Brotherhood to the rock-bound valley west of Sedalia, Colorado in the late 40s and early 50s. Doreal was in part responsible for the dissemination of the theory that linked UFOs to reptoids. So look, so that's interesting. So while David Icke popularized it, he wasn't the originator of it. He was merely repeating something that's already been in the public domain. I've read his account of how he came up with it, because David Icke said himself while researching The Biggest Secret, he went around the world researching his book, for his research for the book, Biggest Secret, and he came across people saying that they've seen a human turn into a reptilian, then a reptilian transform into a human again, shapeshift. Then here, look, this is. So this is look, it's showing here that the reptilian theory originated from him. And then you got the pamphlet Mysteries of the Gorby. I like the sound like Gorby. Doreal offered a revisionist history of the world which featured an ancient war between human beings and the serpent race. And the new Captain America movie is supposed to be about. Actually, let me bring it up. Okay, let me bring it up right now. Okay? Stupid thing. Let me bring it up. Close and stupid. Let me bring it up. MCU. That'll be easy. That'll be easy to do. I can bring that up. Let me just. Captain America. Just trying to find. He's gonna have a film out. Just trying to find the link to the next film is gonna be out. Here it is, Captain America: Brave New World. It was supposed to be called New World Order, but they changed the title ironically. Now let's try to find information about this. So the character is I do apologise. I'm sure they were gonna do. I'm sure they were saying that they were gonna introduce Serpent Race to this film. Captain America, Brave New World, Serpent Race. Captain America. Because that's interesting that they would put it in a film. Obviously there's not much known about this film. Captain America. Come on, where is it, man? It's called the Serpent Society. Yeah, basically they can shapeshift to anybody. That's what the Serpent Society is. Trying to figure out, are they going to be they were going to be in it at one point, but they're not now. But so they're rumored. So yeah, there's a rumor that they are going to be the villains. Serpent Society. Look, they're talking about. See, do you see what I showed you just now? They're talking about a group of shape-shifting reptiles that pose as humans. Yeah, they do that. They put it in comic books, right? Because of information like this that's in the public domain. Now they're going to put it in movies. Again, they're just doing that by design, putting these ideas out, popularize them, just as the UFO phenomenon have been popularized for decades in Hollywood, particularly from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, Serpent Race, the latter hero, had bodies like man, but heads like a great snake, and bodies fatally scaled. They also possess hypnotic powers that allow them to shapeshift into human form. So, bit of a summary of how these ideas of reptilians and UFOs come from, or entities from another place, whatever. They originate from occult sources. Why is it always occult sources? Well, you know why. So I got to end this stream. Thanks for joining me. See you guys soon.